done come too far to be gone.
Today we talk with award-winning blues singer Shemekia Copeland about her new album, Done Come Too Far. Shemekia's previous two records have gotten rave reviews, and this new release is the third of that trilogy.
Tried everything to keep us down.
These three records have been just an amazing journey for me because I started with America's Child after I had my little guy.
Right.
And I just felt like there was so much more to say after that. I almost felt like Uncivil War was a continuation of that record. And then I finished Uncivil War at the end of December of 2019. And then all hell broke loose in 2020. And I was like, oh my goodness, I guess it's going to be a trilogy.
Right.
And that's how this record came about. So it really just was a very organic, natural thing to have happen.
Gotcha. Now I see that you've got Will Kimbrough producing again, and he's co-written a bunch of the tunes. So you must have had some kind of discussions with him about how you wanted to make this record, what you had in mind.
Yeah, John Hahn, Will Kimbrough, and myself, I call it the dream team because
right.
we're all very like-minded, and it just works. It just works. I'm not going to say it's easy, because we work really hard, but it's easy working with these guys.
So what kind of discussions what did you tell them that you wanted to achieve when you were making this record?
Well, when we're making these records, I mean, I think that we all just know what's going on. I mean,
right.
I try to do songs that are relevant to the times. I feel like that's how music evolves and grows. And we're all very much on board with that. And we just, it doesn't just, we don't just say, oh, we're going to make a record, so let's talk about this right now. It's just
Gotcha.
a series. It's a series of conversations over months.
All right. And where did you record? You recorded in Nashville, right?
Yeah, this album though was a little bit more interesting because we didn't just record in Nashville. We recorded a little in Memphis, a little in New Orleans. So we had a little bit of a mix up, but most of it was Nashville.
And does the environment have an effect on what we hear on the record?
Absolutely. I mean, I wanted to do a Cajun sounded song.
Yep.
So that's why we did Catfish and Bibles. I've never done that before.
Chicken bone, Charlie, a salad, sweet potato, tearing up the house, doing the alligator, leftover Louie and his husband Dan, two-stepping by the garbage can.
I just feel like I can steal from any American roots music that I choose.
Yeah, I love fried
that.
catfish and Bible. That's a great tune.
Yeah.
Some
Fried
accordion,
catfish.
some washboard on there. That's all
Exactly. Cool. So there's African banjo on this record. I love it. So
yep.
We're tapping into things that we hadn't done before. I did a full-on country song. I mean, I've played around with country a little bit, but I've never really done a full outright country song until I did Fell in Love with a Honky.
I fell in love with a honky in a honky-tonk bar, dressed up like a rodeo star, plays country blues on a beat-up guitar, fell in love with a honky in a honky-tonk bar.
I've just been playing around and, with everything, having fun with it.
Yep. And so the album kicks off with Too Far Gone, and you got Sonny Landreth playing on that.
We done come too far to be gone. Come too far to be gone. If you think we're stopping, you got it wrong. We come too far to be gone.
Well, I feel like we did a rock version of that song and a blues version of that song.
Oh, okay.
And so Too Far to Be Gone is the rocky version, and then Done Come Too Far is the blues version. So basically, similar songs, but just in different grooves. And so we wanted the rock version to rock. So we thought Sonny Landreth would be perfect for it.
Sure. And the topic of the song is fairly topical these days, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what's happening. So I know I feel like here in this country, um, people, there's so many things that haven't been discussed and dealt with.
Yep.
So all of these things keep rearing their ugly heads. And that's going to continue to happen till it ends up being our demise, because you have to deal with things in order to be able to move forward.
Yep.
And we haven't done that. So
and in some ways it almost feels like it's moving backwards with women's rights and abortion laws and all that stuff.
Exactly. So we have to, we just have to do better.
Yeah. And do you see that happening?
In some ways, some ways not.
Right.
I have no idea what's going on. I feel like I'm living on another planet half the time these days.
Yep. And you have a song called "The Talk," and I see you got Charles Hodges playing on that from Memphis, right?
Yeah, he's amazing.
I held my breath as you took your first steps. I was proud as a mama can get. Now it's been years, you've grown tall, but I'm still worried you're gonna fall. Got to have the talk.
And what can you tell me about the song itself?
Well, the talk, it's about the conversation that you have to have with your child when you're raising a Black child.
Yep.
And in this country, it's about that conversation, and it has to be had. And it's my child I have a little boy, and he's 5.5. He'll be 6 Christmas Eve, and I tell him discipline will save his life one day.
Right.
And so these are the conversations that we are having.
Right.
With him already.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, so that's interesting, because I'm an old white guy. I would never have even considered that that's a thing that has to be dealt with and talked about.
I know. Well, that's why I love doing these songs, because they make people aware. And how wonderful is it that you get to understand me a little bit better, or understand us a little bit better through these songs, and I think that's a good thing. Education is key. If you take things out of the history books and you don't teach people, how will they know not to repeat it? How will they know not to let history repeat itself? That's what this is all about. It's about, conversations, and people, instead of fighting, listening to one another and trying to understand how we all feel.
Right.
Here they say, oh, well, we don't want to teach about slavery in schools, and we don't want to teach about that stuff because we don't want to make white kids feel bad about themselves. And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, it wasn't just white people that had slaves. If you teach all of history, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's about learning your history, knowing what not to do again. It's not about making anyone feel bad about anything,
Yep.
My child is mixed race. So, it's not about him feeling bad about anything. It's about him learning, so he knows,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's what they're doing down in Florida, aren't they? Picking out what they don't want to teach the kids these days.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, they're doing all kinds of crazy things these days.
Yeah. Now back to the record. Most of the songs are written specifically for the record by Will and a bunch of other folks, but there's a Ray Wiley Hubbard tune on there called "Barefoot in Heaven." How'd that get there?
Gonna walk around heaven, barefooted, singing God's praise.
always looking for cool songs to do, and that one is certainly on the list of cool. I love Ray Wiley Hubbard, and I just thought that was a great song. Definitely wanted to do it.
Yeah, cool. And then you close out the record with one of your dad's tunes.
Yeah, Nobody But You.
When I was out, who took me in? Gave me a shoulder to cry on, showed me love again. Nobody but you, nobody but you, make me love you like I do.
Which is kind of crazy, you know, how things work. My mom passed away on the day this album came out.
Geez.
On the 19th of the month, and my dad wrote that song about my mom.
Right.
And I did that song long before that, and she got a chance to hear it. So I'm grateful for that. So
that's tough.
I'm a little bit I'm a little down, but I'm trying to make it through.
Yep. Yeah, and have you been doing shows? Have you been playing out much?
I did 2 shows. My mom's funeral was on Friday, and then I did a show on Saturday and Sunday. And now I'm about to head out for a lot of shows coming up next at the end of this weekend.
Well, and how do you feel going out in the kind of new environment that we're all in? And
you know, I've been doing gigs. You know, we just try to take care of ourselves, protect ourselves, and hopefully everything will be okay.
Yep.
You know, just don't. Yeah,
because I'm coming to the States in about 2 weeks in Nashville for their Americana Fest, and I'm kind of having, you know, it's like, okay, what do I expect when I get there?
Well, different parts of the country do things a little bit different, but I think that you'll have a great time. You know?
That's my plan. And so when you do perform these, what kind of band do you have? What kind of, do you change them around? Do you interact with the audience?
Oh, I'm always interacting with the audience, but I've had the same band for a very long time.
Oh, so cool.
I have 2 guitars, bass, and drums. And so I've been, Arthur Nielsen's my guitar player. We've been together 24 years. And Kevin Jenkins, 18 years on the bass.
Nice.
I think 13 years for my other guitar player, Willie Scanlon, and then the drummer. Gosh, I think it's been a decade now. He's been with me for a while. So
right. So we kind of touched on this, but Pink Turns to Red is kind of addresses gun violence in the States or in general all over the world. Can you elaborate on why you decided to put that on the record?
Last one in the classroom door, pink backpack, her feet on the floor, picked up a crayon, drew a smile on the sun. That's when she saw the kid with the gun under her desk, pretending she was dead. Nothing you can do, pink turns to red. When pink turns to red.
Yeah, I mean, this is my second gun violence song, and
right. It's a shame you have to have 2, isn't it?
I know it's an issue. So, you know, I'm not one to sweep issues under the rug. If it's an issue, I'm gonna put it out there. It's a problem, you know. I want to be and feel safe where I live, and I certainly want my child to be safe going to school. You know, you can't go to school, you can't go to church. Those used to be the 2 safest places in the world, you know.
Yep.
And it's a problem. It's a problem, a real problem.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, especially once children are in the picture. I just had a grandchild 2 weeks ago, and you know, thinking about what kind of life they're going to be faced with 20 years later is kind of a scary proposition.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you very much for taking time to talk to me. And my condolences about, sorry to hear about your mother. I didn't realize it was so recent that happened.
Mm-hmm.
must be
No,
tough
it's
for you.
okay. Thank you.
All righty.
Yeah. I hope to get to Auckland one day.
That would be great. Yeah. We
Yeah,
have
that would-
well, there's a blues fest that happens in Australia every year, the Byron Bay one. So have you played that?
Yes, many years ago.
Well, it's still happening from time to time. So maybe swing by when you're down in the vicinity. It'd be
That
great.
would be awesome. That
All
would be
righty.
great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Enjoy Nashville.
Okay, I will. Bye.